let me begin this video by telling a very powerful anecdote from the Second World War. During the horrific nightly bombings that the United Kingdom endured in 1940 to 1941, many children were sent to the countryside to stay safe. But some kids were left in the big cities and had to spend long nights in bomb shelters with their parents, seeing constant death and destruction. You might think that the kids who were sent to the countryside to live in a relatively safer environment would suffer less trauma from this event. Turns out, the complete opposite is true. Despite the brutality of the bombings, the kids who were close to their loving parents became much more robust to stress. This was really fascinating and heartwarming to me. Conclusion: relationships are the best protection against trauma. But what do we do with the trauma we already accumulated, which most of us have to a greater or lesser degree? The author Bessel Kolk discovered the revolutionizing idea that trauma is stored in the physical body, not just in the mind. Therefore, the path to recover from trauma presented in this book is tightly linked to the mind-body connection. This is Detox Dan presenting my summary of Bessel Kolk's book, The Body Keeps the Score. In our brains, we have a part called the amygdala that functions like a smoke detector. Its job is to warn the body if danger is near. If so, we need to trigger the fire alarm, which is going into a fight or flight mode. We also have a watchtower in the brain, our frontal lobes, that can investigate where that potentially dangerous smoke is coming from and decide whether it's just an overcooked steak or a real fire. It is the more rational part of our brain that can get a clear overview of the situation. What happens when we are traumatized is that the smoke detector is much more sensitive to even small amounts of smoke, and the watchtower becomes worse at deciding whether it is fake smoke or real danger. The result is that we set off the fire alarm, a full-blown stress response or even panic attack, when completely unnecessary. Restoring the balance between the smoke detector and the watchtower is how we recover from trauma. The first step on the recovery path is learning to breathe mindfully while accessing painful memories that trigger your smoke detector. The goal of the exercise is to make your body realize that it is safe now, instead of activating the fire alarm. If you can pay full attention to your breaths, especially to the tiny pauses between inhales and exhales, your body will automatically relax. When you manage to stay relaxed and focused enough while discomfort arises, it releases the stored up bodily tension linked to the memory of your trauma, instead of going into panic mode. And the more conscious you are of your breath and bodily sensations during this practice, the more discomfort you can tolerate. With practice, the ability to stay conscious will grow with each repetition, creating a positive upward spiral. So, take a deep breath, and let's move on to working with the body. Trauma often robs its victim of the feeling that you are in charge of yourself and your body, something the author calls self-leadership. A big part of recovery is taking that control back. One way to do that is by finding ways to be fully present in the moment and relearn to engage with the people around you. There are many fun and challenging activities you can choose from to accomplish this. Martial arts or self-defense, for example, can be very empowering. Many people regain a sense of self-control, knowing that they are now able to fight back and stand their ground. I myself feel like I have some suppressed anger and a hard time standing up for myself. Practicing MMA for a while did help me with these emotions. Yoga can also be great for learning to inhabit your body again. This is important, since trauma often causes people to ignore bodily sensations. But ignoring bodily sensations makes it very hard to take care of the body. For example, it might be hard to feel the difference between anxiety and hunger. It is also bad for the nervous system not to feel the tensions and stress-like feelings in the body. In yoga, you are guided to pay attention to different sensations in the body while moving from pose to pose. Is there tension in your shoulder? Maybe some pose triggers a stress response. Closely paying attention to how you're feeling will foster emotional regulation. This will help your nervous system to function properly and make you feel more at home in your body. And since trauma is stored in the body, Feeling at home and safe in it is a great sign of recovery. Therapeutic massages and rhythmic activities like dancing, chanting, or playing the drums have also shown to have similar great effects. The last piece of the recovery puzzle is relationships. Having someone you can talk to that you fully trust is important to feel safe in the world. But this can be very tricky, since when we are deeply traumatized, it is often difficult to build these types of relationships. Trauma in many ways is a defense mechanism that protects you from opening up to people and risking getting hurt again. If you find it impossible to connect with people on this level in your everyday life or in a support group, therapy will be your best option. Wherever you are on your journey, I hope this video gave you some tools to move forward. That was it for my summary of Bessel van der Kolk's book, The Body Keeps the Score. If you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.